came from the third dimension.
3D Newsbite.
This is the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
In a long history of monster wrestling, there has never been a champion quite like Tentacular. Fans around the world are asking, is there a challenger out there with the hunger, the drive, the discipline to become the next champion?
Hello. This is Adolph. I have with me Jake.
Howdy.
And on this 3D or 2D podcast, this is going to be a quick 3D Newsbite podcast where we talk about the newest 3D movie trailer, which is an animated movie called Rumble. This is actually a 2021 release, January. So what do you think of this trailer for Rumble?
It looked interesting. You got monsters and wrestling. Only thing it was missing was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
So this movie is about, underdog monster who wants to wrestle to be the number one monster, and you don't really think this thing has any, potential. And they actually get the guy, is actually with Walden Media, and WWE association with Paramount. So it's official wrestling movie.
Mm-hmm. That's probably why all the wrestling stuff was done so well, because that was the highlight. That was what pushed it over to being, this looks like it could be interesting. Maybe. I mean, the stories, what we see in the trailers is pretty trope-driven. You've seen it 100 times if you're over 20.
Yeah, very cliche, very, will this underdog come back and win? Which is probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's coming out January 29th, 2021, which is exciting for us that we got confirmation right off the bat that this is a 3D movie.
Yep, it's 3D. Yeah, so we're going to start 2021 off with a bang and a body slam on the mat.
Oh, we can do all these wrestling jokes because it's official WWE, and they actually have the guy that has a Rumble voice, right? What's that guy's name?
Oh, I don't know. Are you ready to rumble?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, and hey, and if they haven't cured Corona, it'd be a perfect time to go in wearing my Santo mask.
Michael Buffer, MC, is the one that does the "Are you ready to rumble?" kind of intro.
Mm-hmm.
So, we mentioned coronavirus, and we're kind of halfway playing around. Because January, is usually a bad time for flu in general. So this may not come out in January. This might be pushed later. We'll find out when it comes closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the new Bond has been pushed back to November. We wouldn't mention it because since it's not a 3D movie, it's kind of outside our purview. But that's definitely been pushed. There was lots of thought that Disney was going to blink and push Milan, but looks like it was too late to change. But I saw another 3D trailer for that, so looks like it's going to be released on schedule and is going to be in 3D worldwide.
And I think Trolls moved up a week or two. So, it's always good to have this, as we talk about this for the first time. The dates will probably vary. We'll figure it out later, but this is the date they give us now. And, January 2021 for now. And, we'll see if it changes later. But you never know. It may get pushed up. It may get pushed back. It would have been nice to have this in January of this year, but okay.
Yeah.
If it's an animated movie like this, I'm guessing that most of it's done. They're just waiting around on some hard drive, because they don't want to, get in the way of another movie coming out. So that's probably why it's January.
And sometimes January's a dump month. But hey, not because I can remember when January, February, March were when the studios dumped stuff they didn't like. Then The Matrix came out in what was it, end of February, early March, and that kind of changed the release schedule.
Now, this is a bigger deal because it's a Paramount movie, and I think you said before that Paramount has a very bad track record with releasing 3D Blu-rays, so you may only get to see this in the big screen in 3D.
Yeah, and if you're lucky, you might be able to find it on video on demand, or a country that has a non-Paramount country that's got distribution rights and home video rights. So if this does get a home Blu-ray release, it may be someplace like Japan or Germany.
If it gets one at all.
Yeah, exactly, because the first Trolls movie didn't. Was Fernando a Paramount release through DreamWorks? Because it hasn't gotten a home release anywhere yet.
Yeah, so...
And Mission Impossible Fallout never got a 3D Blu-ray release either.
So yeah, it definitely is going to be something you probably want, in theory, to watch in theaters because, in theory, this might be the only way you see it in 3D. Now, the movie itself is probably going to be a 5 or 6 out of 10. Just seeing it from the trailer, it looks okay, it looks fine. It doesn't look terrible, it doesn't look great. I do like the character models, and I do think that it looks pretty.
Mm-hmm. And animated movies are usually, you have to really screw up to make the 3D look terrible. So usually the 3D in these is good enough that you're going to be more than happy. But then sometimes a movie can have such a tedious story, Wonder Park, that the 3D is just not worth it.
Well, Wonder Park's 3D was really, really great. It was just the movie itself was not great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, yeah. All right. Just in case here's the official synopsis, just in case you're wondering. In a world where monster wrestling is a global sport and monsters are superstar athletes, teenage Winnie seeks to follow in her father's footsteps by coaching a lovable underdog monster into a champion. So that's the official synopsis. It seems fine. It seems like basically what you get is what you see.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a monster-fied version of Fighting with My Family.
So, yeah, it seems like a fun kids cartoon. I guess we'll see another trailer before the end of the year, maybe, and it comes out on January. So we'll see we'll keep you updated. That's basically it for this Newsbite podcast. Before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank my patrons. Thank you, Kano3D and Mr. Bengal 5 for your financial support on Patreon.com. So that's going to be it for this podcast. Thanks for listening. You can find 3D or 2D on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and more. Just look for 3D or 2D. Links are in the info box. If you want to send us listener mail, our email address is email3dortwo@gmail.com. Thank you for either listening or watching this podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.